Step into the enchanting glow of yesteryears, where laughter may have been quiet, but the joy in people's hearts was anything but. Welcome to Quality Silent Films, your gateway to the mesmerizing realm of early cinema, a magical place where tales unfolded without a single word, yet resonated deeply with every viewer. Tonight, we journey back to 1915, to a delightful comedy that boldly blended charm, chaos, and a man dressed as a bear, Billy, the Bear Tamer. It was a year marked by the tragedy of the Lusitania, as the ocean claimed headlines and sorrow swept across the globe. Meanwhile, Einstein was revolutionizing our grasp of time and space, and San Francisco was captivating visitors at the Panama Pacific International Exposition, showcasing that wonder could still flourish even in times of war and uncertainty. In this vibrant context, the Vitagraph Company of America brought something truly special to audiences: laughter. Billy, the Bear Tamer burst onto the scene like a refreshing breeze of playful mischief in a heavy year. Directed by Lee Beggs, a stage actor from Nebraska who transitioned into filmmaking, this short film captures the sharp humor and agile storytelling characteristic of the early studio era. Vitagraph was a trailblazer in American cinema, with its Brooklyn stages alive with the faces that would shape silent comedy. Among them was the rising star Constance Talmadge, the dazzling middle sister of the renowned Talmadge trio, whose innate charm would soon shine brightly in Hollywood. Alongside her was Billy Quirk, a seasoned performer with over 100 short comedies under his belt, whose knack for physical comedy brought the lively spirit of vaudeville to the screen. Completing the cast were Albert Roccardi, an experienced Italian character actor, and Edwina Robbins, one of the many dedicated talents from Vitagraph's bustling stock company. The story is as playful as it is absurd. Picture this: a young man, eager to win over his sweetheart's father, decides to don a bear costume. What could possibly go wrong? This setup spirals into a whirlwind of mistaken identities, chase scenes, and hilarious twists. But underneath all the slapstick humor lies a universal truth: the lengths we go to for approval, to show our bravery, and to win love. For today's audiences, that theme still resonates. The urge to perform, to impress others by pretending to be someone we're not, it's a timeless struggle. Back in 1915, it was a bear suit. Nowadays, it might be a carefully curated online persona designed to garner likes and affection. And the laughter that erupts when those facades crumble, that's what keeps silent comedy feeling fresh and alive. The beauty of Billy, the Bear Tamer lies not just in its humor, but in its heart. These early filmmakers, working with limited technology, relied on expression, movement, and rhythm to evoke genuine emotions. More than a century later, those flickering gestures still connect us through a shared emotional language that doesn't need sound. Stick around after the film, as we dive deeper into how Vitagraph influenced the early film industry, how Constance Talmadge became a screen icon, and how simple stories like this one laid the groundwork for cinematic comedy. So settle in, let the laughter of another age spill through the years, and let the glow of early cinema remind you that joy never truly goes silent. Enjoy Billy, the Bear Tamer, a spirited 1915 Vitagraph gem that still roars, in its own mischievous way, more than 100 years later. As the final scene fades away, the laughter from a century past still lingers in the air. We're left with a vivid image of a young man in a bear suit, clumsily navigating through the woods and the weight of expectations, all in a bid to win over his sweetheart's father, not by showcasing his strength, but by orchestrating a delightful spectacle. The atmosphere is light and playful, sprinkled with a hint of mischief, yet beneath that cheerful facade lies a tender truth, the deep-seated human longing to be accepted, to impress, to find a place where we belong. As the film wraps up, we feel the pull of identity, the art of performance, and the act of pretending. Even though the costumes are outrageous and the moments purely comedic, the emotions resonate with sincerity. The woods have fallen silent now, the bear suit is left behind, but that desire to don a disguise for applause? That feeling sticks around. The director behind this charming piece is Lee Beggs, who was born on December 3, 1870, in Omaha, Nebraska. He carved out a niche for himself, bridging the gap between the stage and the emerging world of motion pictures, acting and sometimes directing shorts and features during the 1910s and 1920s. While he may not have reached the heights of a major feature director, his work captures the bustling, inventive spirit of early studios, especially with companies like the Vitagraph Company of America. Beggs played a key role in translating the essence of theatrical vaudeville and physical comedy into the cinematic language, and in Billy, the Bear Tamer, we catch a glimpse of his talent for blending slapstick with charm. The film's leading lady is Constance Talmadge, April 19, 1898 to November 23, 1973, hailing from Brooklyn, New York. As the middle sister of the famous Talmadge trio, alongside Norma and Natalie, Constance started her career in short comedies for Vitagraph around 1914 before transitioning to feature films in the 1920s. She became a beloved figure of the silent film era, known for her breezy and expressive screen presence. Her background in short subject comedy honed her timing, and although she stepped back from the spotlight when sound took over, her legacy endures among silent film historians for its wit, charm, and the way she helped shape the light screen heroine of her era. Let's talk about the supporting cast. Billy Quirk, who was born on March 27, 1873, in Jersey City and passed away on April 20, 1926, was a vibrant comedian during the one and two-reel era. He often starred in shorts that carried his name and brought a lively, vaudeville-inspired physicality to the screen. His work at Vitagraph played a crucial role in shaping many early comedies, including this one. Then there's Albert Roccardi, born on May 9, 1864, in Rome and who died on May 14, 1934, in Paris. He was an Italian actor who appeared in over 60 films from 1912 to the early 1930s, adding a solid character-actor dimension to the comedy. Edwina Robbins, born on January 18, 1884, in Hudson County, New Jersey, was one of Vitagraph's dependable players in the 1910s, credited as both an actress and sometimes a writer. While detailed records of her later life are hard to come by, her contributions were key to the early studio comedies' stock company structure. Now, let's dive into the production history. This short was filmed for Vitagraph, running about 15 to 16 minutes, and it hit the screens around July 14 to 15, 1915. The plot revolves around a young man who disguises himself as a bear to win over his girlfriend's father, drawing on vaudeville traditions of mistaken identity and physical comedy. The catalog highlights a charming image of Constance Talmadge bundled up in winter attire, engrossed in a natural history book, which is noted for its framing. While the production may not have relied on extravagant special effects, its clever costume, the bear suit, outdoor chase scenes, and the playful contrast between the rural hunting setting and the masquerade make it visually captivating. Anecdotally, this early film showcases Constance before her rise to stardom, and for Billy Quirk, it represents his well-established Billy comedies at Vitagraph. The fact that this film has survived and is available for streaming or download through Harpodeon is quite remarkable for a short from this time period. When we look at the cultural backdrop and themes of the film, it lands us right in 1915, a time when World War I was in full swing across Europe. The theme of performance and disguise, like our main character donning a bear costume to gain acceptance, reflects the social dynamics of that era, a time when silent film was a fresh identity for actors and creators who had mostly been tied to the stage. For today's audiences, this theme resonates with our current world of curated online identities, self-presentation, and the little absurdities of trying to fit in. The father's bravado as a hunter also touches on the gender norms of the time, prompting us to think about how those expectations have evolved or remained the same. The physical comedy of a man in a bear suit chasing and being chased still brings about hearty laughter, reminding us why silent films are so relatable. You don't need dialogue to grasp themes of submission, folly, and redemption. As for how it was received, there's not much published evidence of reviews from the time for this brief film, which is pretty common for one-reel comedies, but trade listings indicate it was part of Vitagrapha's busy lineup of short subjects and likely found its place in local theaters with its light-hearted charm. Later viewers on Letterboxd have described it as likable on its own terms, with the classic Vitagraph production quality still shining through. While it may not have been a groundbreaking film back then, its survival makes it a small yet significant piece of silent film history. In the world of legacy and preservation, Billy, the Bear Tamer, is a short film that could have easily faded into obscurity. Thankfully, it's now available for streaming and on DVD compilations, like the one titled For Vitagraph Comedians. This accessibility allows modern audiences to rediscover early short comedies, giving both historians and fans a chance to enjoy Constance Talmadge before she became a star, as well as Billy Quirk during the peak of his Billy series. While it may not have made headlines for major restorations, its availability in high definition through niche channels is certainly a noteworthy achievement for its survival. Here are a few interesting tidbits about its production and casting. The film was produced and distributed by Vitagraph and General Film Company, which was a leading short subject studio back in 1915. Sometimes, the film is listed without the comma, as Billy the Bear Tamer, instead of Billy, the Bear Tamer. Set against a rural hunting backdrop, it's quite striking to see a young woman, Talmadge, engrossed in a natural history book, an unexpected, civilized touch for a comedy of this nature. Constance Talmadge's role in this film is recognized by the Women Film Pioneers Project as part of her early work with Vitagraph. Before this film, Billy Quirk had a string of comedies titled Billies, at Solax and Vitagraph, often paired with lesser-known actresses before landing this more prominent co-star. The survival of this film in U.S. archives, like the Library of Congress and UCLA Film and Television Archive, is highlighted by the Women Film Pioneers Project's listing for Constance. While the film includes a bear, there's no proof of a real one. The costume and the chase are all orchestrated by humans, making it an early example of trick costume comedy rather than relying on animal antics. With a runtime of about 16 minutes in 1915, this piece was likely a one-reel or two-reel short, reflecting the distribution style of cinema back then. The film features outdoor cane hunting scenes, giving it a nature chases man in wild woods vibe that's more typical of adventure shorts than domestic comedies. Although it didn't receive awards or recognition in major contemporary lists, since feature awards for shorts weren't really a thing yet, its modern presence in silent film collections shows how these gems can regain attention through archival streaming. In conclusion, what this film teaches us is a simple yet profound lesson: the costumes we hesitate to wear, the roles we try to embody, and the moments when we peel back the layers to reveal our true selves. A young man dons a bear costume to display courage, but in that very act, he uncovers not just his facade to others, but also to himself. A century later, we still grapple with the question: how much of our performance is genuine, and how much is just the mask we wear to seek love? So as the credits roll, take a moment to enjoy this delightful little comedy from 1915, let its laughter resonate in your life, and perhaps remind you that sometimes the best way to earn approval is to drop the act and simply be yourself, unless you're a bear, in which case, it's best to stay in the woods. Thank you for being with us today. I truly hope you found this journey through silent films both engaging and enlightening. Here at Quality Silent Films, we're passionate about bringing you full-length cinema from the silent era, complete with biographies, historical context, and cultural insights, everything you need to enjoy these films on a deeper level. We can't wait to welcome you back for our next silent film adventure.